Hello! I am Chessrook44 and this is the Geneforge Let's Play. We just came off a wonderful battle at Pentil Plains. We managed to break a siege where several Attila and Thods were keeping anyone from passing through, but here we are, a bit wounded and tired, but we can proceed inwards to Pentil at any time. And indeed, now we shall. Let us go into Pentil, the home of the Obeyers. And here we are, and oh my, it looks like a bit of a fort. You enter the village of Pentil. It is quite a bit more than a village, actually. This was a large fort, probably the administrative center. Huh, I was right. Though you weren't sure at first, it is becoming clear that this island was once a major Shaper research center. Whatever caused your people to declare Susia forbidden, it must have been very dramatic. As you enter, the effect on the serviles here is dramatic. They stare at you in awe. Even considering reactions to you so far, it is remarkable. Some of them fall to their knees. One of the guards walks up to you, staring at the ground and shuffling his feet. Shaper, welcome to Pentil. In the name of the Obeyers, we welcome you. We are grateful that you have returned to rule and guide us at last. He walks back slowly, not daring to look directly at you. When you meet the gaze of one of these meek creatures, they look away. For once on this isle, you are meeting serviles who treat you like serviles elsewhere do. Ha. So, here we are. Seems we can look inside the walls whenever we want, so why not? Servile is completely obedient, cooperative, and in awe of you, however he doesn't know anything useful. Ooh. Alright. This is actually something I've noticed in a lot of spiderweb software games. Okay, those are all owned, but it's always nice how in forts and castles and those kinds of areas you can actually walk inside the walls. Occasionally they even have routes that you can look outside and see the outside. Very nice to see in forts, as opposed to just solid walls that maybe you can walk on top of, but you can never walk through. It makes sense they'd have this. An east exit. Alright. We'll check there sometime in the future. And 5 living tools. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna try that right now. Alright, and here's the north side. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. And a north exit. Alright, and we've been around the walls on the outside, so we know the outer barrier. Well, with nothing else to do, it is time to walk into the village of Pentil. Come on, Natsu. We are Shapers. And here, Hall of the Obeyers. Oh, nice. We walk in, and the first thing we see is the home of the Obeyers themselves. This massive hall is sparsely decorated. The floor is bare except for a scattering of chairs arranged for discussion. It is as if there was nothing placed here to distract from the business at hand. This is the meeting hall of Pentil, and the center of the Obeyer sect. From here, the plans of the serviles are set into motion, all with the sole intention of pleasing the Shapers. Hopefully, they will please us. And who is this? You aren't used to seeing this complicated a mix of emotions in the face of a servile. Normally they are simple, obedient, docile creatures. Not this one. You see in his face the look of one who has spent many years in command, plotting and scheming, who has now come face to face with the thing he has worshipped for many years. Awe and cunning fight within him as he tries to decide how to deal with you. Shaper, I have heard of your arrival. I am awed and grateful that you have returned to us at last. I am Rydell. I am the leader of the Obeyers, the only sect that has stayed steadfast and true in our obedience to your kind. We know that you are alone here and endangered by the rogue creations that surround us. We hope that you have come to assist us and to reward us for your obedience. Reward them? We may, but first, I want to learn more of the Obeyers. Gladly, Shaper. My life is centered around describing our beliefs. I think that they will, upon reflection, be pleasing to you. We are dedicated to nothing but showing your kind the obedience we owe you as our creators. We hope one day that we will be able to convince you to ally with us. Tell me more of your beliefs. I should not need to, Shaper, for our beliefs are exactly those of you and your people. You are the creators, the formers. We were not there, and then we were, through your will and efforts. The awakened say that our debt to you for your act of life-giving may be paid off. We do not know if that is true. We doubt it. But if the debt truly can be paid, it will take many, many more years of true obedience and service. Note, however, that we only serve the true Shapers, who follow the Shaper's true beliefs. If we feel that a Shaper has been twisted from the will of its kind, we will not obey. True Shapers? How can you decide whether a Shaper's beliefs are valid or not? It is a difficult question, and one we have much discussed. We feel we owe obedience, but we are not sure whether we owe total obedience to all Shapers, or what to do if two Shapers say different things. For now, we have decided to follow the Shapers' beliefs as last represented to us before the Shapers left. It is the best we can do. Interesting. They actually briefly addressed the idea of an Old and New Testament. It's like they specifically follow the Old Testament. Maybe. I may be completely misunderstanding how the religion works back then, but they're basically saying, we follow as they said when last they spoke to us. And they don't seem to care much about future interpretations. Actually, interpretations aren't mentioned much, at least as far as I know. You know what? We'll be nice to them. I am impressed by your wisdom and self-control in the face of adversity. You gave us the obedience we are owed. You deserve to be rewarded for your loyalty. Tell him what he wants to know. Rydell exhales a deep breath of relief. So many years of self-doubt, Shaper. So many years of wondering why you abandoned us. Now we know, though. Now we know that we followed the true course. Thank you. Tell me more of this village. This is the largest servile settlement on Susia. We have worked hard to make it so. We want it to be ready for when the Shapers return. Still, the many threats we face have made our lot a difficult one. How have you obeyed us in our absence? For each of the tasks the Shapers have Serviles perform, we have one group which carries it out. We train each new generation to serve as the ancestors have served. Please, Shapers, speak with the Serviles here, note their skill and loyalty, and see how it has made us strong and prosperous. Interesting. Tell me more about the rogues. I would, but I think you would best learn of the threats which face us from those who must deal with them directly every day. Find McCall. He can tell you much. And, Shaper, if you are feeling merciful and kind, please help us. Recently, our difficulties have been great. What sorts of things have you done on this island in our name? I am glad you asked, Shaper. We have attempted to maintain your structures and to keep ourselves trained in the skills you required of us. In addition, we have interfered as much as we can with this strange rogue servile sects around us. Rogue serviles. So they consider the Takers and the Awakened to be rogue. That does make sense. I mean, the serviles were made to be slaves, essentially. And rogues are essentially creations which act against the Shapers or act differently from how they should. So technically, the Awakened and the Takers are rogues. Interfered? How? However we could. We realized that if the Awakened or the Takers gained strength, their ideas might escape Susia Isle and infect others. So we have maintained the servant mines, harassed their villages, kept them from needed supplies, and so on. For example, we kept the servant mine Control 4 to the west alive and well. This has helped keep Bakiri small and weak, and thus unable to seriously expand their anti-Shaper views. Anti-Shaper? They don't seem to be anti-Shaper. That's the Takers that are anti-Shaper. Huh. The Obeyers are sounding very fanatical. I want to leave this island. Where can I find a boat? Rydell looked startled. After centuries of waiting for Shapers to return, it did not occur to him that upon your return you would immediately want to leave. Still, he is obedient. I do not generally think of such things, but I heard Pixley speak of a boat recently. She is in town somewhere. Very well. Well, at least we know more about the Shapers themselves, about the Obeyers themselves. Oh, she's 6? Not even gonna bother. That's probably his private rooms. And that looks like a kitchen for the entire fort. Still, always be thinking of the true will. That's an interesting sign to have. There's a farmer. This is one of the serviles who works hard to grow food and raise meat. The hard work has left the creature with rough hands and strong muscles. It's very different from the serviles back home. I am pleased by your attention, Shaper. I hope I can help you. Tell me about your farm. It is outside the west gate. Now that the gate has been cleared, we are starting to return to our lands to repair the damage that has been done. I am looking for information. Is there anyone here who can help me? Rydell is the leader here, and the one with the most knowledge. He is the leader of the Obeyers. I know that he would be honored by a visit from you. His hall is at the west side of the central building. Well, never mind. You can return to your work. Thank you, Shaper. You are very kind. And Learned Jaffe, Sage. Learned. Though the Serviles of Pentil claim total obedience to the Shapers, it is very strange what you find in here. It is a laboratory used for shaping new creations. It has been scrupulously maintained by the Serviles. It also looks like, despite the absence of Shapers for many years, this lab has been in use. The Serviles here seem to have been trying to use Shaper powers on their own. Very strange and worrying. This bears further investigation. Most likely does. You meet a Servile Sage. You know that Serviles are often used as researchers and laboratory assistants. This one clearly aspires to be something more. You smell the sulfur stink of living Fioras. Welcome, Shaper, the old Servile says. I am Jaffe, of the Obeyers. I have been here long and learned much. I am sure there is much you want to know about this isle. I can help you. What sort of work are you doing here? What is this lab for? Do not fear, Shaper. I am not following the arts forbidden to us Serviles. I would never attempt to try and make my own creation. I have been trying to tame existing creations, to control rogues, and to have them fight for us instead of against us. I expose them to training, to beating, and to essence, and appeal to their natural obedience to true Shaper thoughts. Interesting. They're actually trying to take rogues and domesticate them. I like that. I like that they're actually trying to do something like that. But does it work? Yes, it does. Most of the rogues we capture do not survive the taming, but a few, all Fioras, have. They fight for us now, in some places. We need all the force we can have to survive what is against us. I like that. That's a very nice thing to hear. Jaffe watches you quietly. He doesn't look awestruck, but he clearly finds you to be very interesting. There is much I would learn from you. I am sure there is. However, I can only share my knowledge with an ally of the Obeyers. I know much, and I cannot afford to aid anyone we are not sure follows the true designs of the Shapers. Well, I guess I need to join them in order to, well, get his teaching. Ah, that must be one of the Ten Fioras.